The American Chamber of Commerce in Cambodia organized an event on the kingdom's evolving trust sector at the Hyatt Regency Phnom Penh on January 24, 2024. The event featured a series of presentations by notable figures in the field on topics such as the mid- and long-term view on trusts in Cambodia and the duties and challenges faced by trustees, followed by a panel discussion between all speakers.
With the trust market launching, all related legal framework to operate, to supervise trust are in place. And the number of trusts legally established and registered with trust regulator increased sharply from 17 cases in 2021 with trust amount around $166 million US. Now the trust duly registered with trust regulator reached to 810 cases, in which the trust amount reached $1,290 million US.
Trust is a new baby in town, right? So of course, a lot of people get nervous. I know that by now, the 1 billion, 1.5 billion you mentioned about, most of those are, I believe, assets owned by foreigners that they have to go through the trust and then they buy something for them. So in that sense, it creates economic diversification that all of you just talked about. But also there are some other good things out of trust arrangement. Professionalism is one of them. For example, in the future, before you hire an attorney, you could say, attorney, I want to make sure that you do your job. So I'm not going to pay you up front. Maybe I pay you 10%, but the 90% will only be paid if I am satisfied with the process.
We have to remember that this is a common law animal, right? That comes from a common law system, the UK. And we are importing it into a civil law system, which means a lot of the words and a lot of the terminology will not have meaning in the civil law system. So in order for the courts to interpret them, enforce them, understand them, they are going to have to borrow from the common law. And that's why in Southeast Asia, or most of Asia, where we have a civil law system, it's actually never a pure civil law system. It's always a hybrid.
We spoke with Sok Fonseca, managing partner at Satalai Law Office, after the event to go into a bit more detail on some of the main questions discussed during the session.
Actually, there is no separate regulations of tax to be applied on trust yet. While in other countries, there should be a separate regime or classifications or application of tax on trust. Like imagine if you kind of having to really transfer your asset to your trustee, there is a transfer tax applied. But actually, ultimately, the owner is the same, but just how you really kind of rearrange the structure itself. So the GDT, they are working on with the trust regulator on this. And the other thing on the treatment of the tax on income on trust. Like because the trust company, they hold and manage the trust for the benefit of the beneficiary, right? So all the income needs to be transferred to the beneficiary, can be a personal, individual or so on. But since there is no regime for trust yet, so when the trust or the trustee or the fund manager manage the trust fund can earn the profit, they really need to pay the tax on income on corporate 20%. We need to really regulate in terms of kind of having a clear guideline on certain type of trust, because like you cannot just apply one standard of trust to every trust, because like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's a social trust. It's a small thing. If you apply the level that you aim to really regulate the commercial trust to them, it's a bit an unlevel market field for them, and then no one gonna register the trust. Actually, the previous arrangement of landholding company and nominee arrangement, it can be contested under the constitution, because it means that the constitution say it already that foreigner cannot own land. And then the land law also say that if you try to mitigate your way to own land, it is not enforceable. So it means that either the nominee arrangement contract and everything, is it enforceable in court? So this is kind of the big risk that everyone having right now. So moving to trust, it's normalize that. And actually trust, some people, some lawyer, they said, oh, it's against the constitution because you let the foreigner own the land. Actually, it's not. It's just you let the foreigner own the investment in the land. So right now we can see that in terms of saving and investment scheme, we have only deposit, we have insurance, and we have security market. So deposit, to some extent, Cambodia compared to other, the interest is high already, but it's not going to be there forever. You need to looking into other investment. So investment, security market, probably you don't have the skill in analyzing the market, right? Insurance, it happens only when you need it. So for increasing your saving to really catch up with the inflation, probably trust fund can be one of the opportunity for both high net worth and retail investor, small investor. So for country perspective, you can see that access to finance right now, if you want to open business SME, and so you need to go to bank only, right? And then when you go to bank, they ask for collateral, and then it's vice versa because you don't have that collateral. That's why you need bank money, but your business plan is very good for the economy, right? So it can be other kind of door to financing through trust, because trust can have the fund manager to look around any startup and invest in that.